All right, guys, today, I forget what part in the series we are on this wagon. This is the 77,000 mile 83 wagon, 78,000 mile. It's right there. I can't remember the exact number. But today we're going to go ahead and remove the old accumulators. All right, the first part of the procedure, according to the actual service manual, here we go. There is the 123 service manual. They say to go ahead and drain. Here, let me show you what I'm doing. So we're just going to loosen the bleeder screw up here. And you want to use, you know, a line wrench. There we go. So you can see this, it appears to be foamy. So that implies there is some air in the system. So we're going to go ahead and drain out according to the service manual. Yeah, that shouldn't. Anyway, we'll let that drain. And let's see. Yeah, see here they say drain it. They actually say to take the caught oil and filter it and put it back in the compartment. But we're going to put in all fresh oil. We're going to drain out the system. And then there's the procedure for filling the system. But if we go back here, removal and installation of pressure reservoir. Pretty simple. You know, it tells you all the tools that you need. Okay, what we just did is drain pressure of the oil system, 32-630. And then it says disconnect pressure line B2 and B3 on pressure reservoir. So you can see here, number 4, that's our pressure reservoir. And then we have lines B2 and B3. It wants us to disconnect those. Now, so let's go up here and look at this. All right. Let's see if we can get a better view here. All right, there we go. There's line B2 and B3. So we want to get, you know, a brake line wrench and go ahead and we'll crack that one loose. And this actually goes back to the hydraulic shock. There you go. See where it goes up there to the hydraulic shock? So we want to go ahead and crack that one loose. And we're going to do that on both sides of the car. And we'll get those old accumulators out of here. And I just wanted to show you the next page. After I loosen those pressure lines, there we go. B2. They didn't. Oh, there's B3 and B2. It just says to loosen the 3 hex bolts that attach the pressure reservoir. So there are. It says there's 3. There we go. We see 1, 2. And there we go. There's the 3rd one. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yep, there's the 3rd one right there. So pretty easy to take those out, guys. I'm not going to actually record me doing that because I'm literally detaching 2 lines and then removing 3 nuts that hold that reservoir in. So I'll do that and then I'll put the reservoir on the table and show it to you guys. And then we'll install the new reservoir. Okay, you're going to get some hydraulic fluid that comes out after you, there we go, after you disconnect these lines. And also, see, this is a banjo bolt that goes back to the hydraulic shock. And you do need to replace, when we put it back together, we're going to need to replace these crush washers to make sure the system seals correctly. So now that we have, there we go, now that we have the lines disconnected, now we can get up here and take those 3 bolts out and just remove this entire accumulator. Really long extension, there we go. All right, here we go, swivel socket. All right, and this is going to fall out in a second, so let me grab it. All right. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. Okay. Drained a bunch of fluid out of there. Let's just drain that into our pan here. And we're going to go ahead and test to see if this one was good. We'll stick something in there and see if that diaphragm is still in there. Because there's a diaphragm inside the accumulator. There you go. Inside this accumulator is a diaphragm, and it's I think there's like a pressure on one side of it and then hydraulic fluid on the other. And the pressure on one side of it, it makes when the hydraulic fluid comes in here and gets pressurized, the pressure opposing it on the diaphragm side like lessens the shock. It like cushions the blow of the hydraulic pressure because there's counter pressure against it with a diaphragm. I don't know if I explained that very well, but all right, let's take a look at this guy. So there's an accumulator, and oh, I can see right now that that diaphragm is not in there. And look at that sludgy black grease coming out of there. Let me stick something. Sorry, let me stick something in here. Like you can almost see, I see metal back there. I do not see a diaphragm. See that? I'm going to stick something in there. I doubt there's even a diaphragm in there. And guys, keep in mind, I'm replacing these. It doesn't matter if I'm putting a screwdriver in there, but yeah, guys, there is no diaphragm in there. That is gone. So look at that black sludgy grease coming out of there. So let's go ahead and get the other one off and put some new ones up there. And right now the system is was sagging and it was not lifting up. And I want to see if replacing these accumulators, because like I said, there was no diaphragm in that. It was busted. So I want to see if that actually makes the system start working again. And if it does, cool. If not, we're going to go ahead and proceed to rebuild the SLS valve back here. All right, here we are on the passenger side. I don't know if this is going to be the best angle for you guys to see, but I just have my swivel socket so I can get these broken loose. There we go. There's one. Let's put this one up here. There's two. And we're going to do the last one. Let's go ahead and just get that broken loose. All right, they're all broken loose. Now I can use my electric one. But what we want to do first is, there we go. See the banjo bolt? I haven't gotten that off yet, so let me get a wrench and loosen that banjo bolt. Okay, I think that banjo bolt is a 17 millimeter. The SAE equivalent is 11/16. And see, I have a line wrench. That way you get the most grip and you don't risk stripping the head of the banjo bolt. There we go. So an 11/16 or a 17 millimeter, we'll get that out. There goes our crush washer. And there we go. There's our banjo. Take that out, and you see there's also a crush washer on that side. So those have to be replaced before we put the accumulator back into the accumulator. Okay, here's the ones from the other side. There's our banjo, and that's the size crush washer. We need two, one on each side of the fitting when we put it back together. So let's go ahead. Okay. About to fall down on me. All right, there went our washer. We'll just set that there. Oh, let's go ahead and drain that guy out. We're going to look inside this one too. Oh yeah, so this one possibly has a diaphragm, but it looks in really bad condition. So remember the other one we just saw straight through when we saw metal. This one here You see there's something in there. See, it looks like a diaphragm, but the diaphragm looks kind of twisted. So let's stick our screwdriver in there and see what we got. Okay, that has, I'm touching a rubber diaphragm, so, but that I can see that that diaphragm is clearly like twisted or not in the best condition, but it's there. I can feel it. So anyway, let's take a look at our replacements. All right, so there's our original. Here's the replacement. It's a Cortico, and maybe that's the part number, 216-53072. I'm sure you could find it. All right, we have an identical part, and we'll just look. So there's the inlet and the outlet right there. You see the mounting frame is identical. Look at the quality of it. The looks like it's the same gauge sheet metal on the bracket. Let's look at the back. Looks at the back. It's identical, and it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 little like rivet marks there. There we go. There's the difference. So, nope, there we go. It's only 4 rivet marks. So clearly, this is either that's the original manufacturer or it's an exact duplicate. So they did that correctly. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pop these back on the car. I'm not going to show that, guys, because literally I'm just going to hold it up here. There we go. We're just going to, well, I guess I'm showing it right now, huh? We're going to hold it up there and screw on a couple of nuts and tighten them down, and then we're just going to reconnect our lines, and that's it. Okay, I just have both accumulators loosely in the vehicle. And before I start cranking stuff down, I want to make sure the lines, there we go, the lines go up there correctly. Now, as for the crush washers on your banjo bolt, here's a little secret. There's the original crush washer. They are the same size crush washers for your oil filter drain plug. Let's go ahead and just take these so you can get those in. There you go. See, it's the exact same crush washer that the oil filter, the oil pan drain plug uses. So go ahead and pop one of those guys on here. And we can put that back up on the car and then pop that guy on here. Okay, I have everything hand tight. You can see my new crush washers, and everything is just hand tight, including the accumulator bolts. So now I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the accumulators, and then I'm going to snug up the hydraulic shock and the send and return lines. That's what I'm doing right here. Oh, there's a good one. There we go. That is nice and snug. Now, yeah, this one is, there's a line wrench, 11 millimeter. And it's going to be hard to do this with holding the camera. But you guys get the idea. I need to get this guy tightened down. And we'll just get this started up in here. And let's get this one started. Once they're good and started, we'll tighten down the actual accumulator and then torque these down. There we go. That's nice and snug. All right. Oh, that's nice and snug. Okay, we have serviced the rear of the wagon. We've serviced the accumulators on the SLS system. So today we want to go ahead and do the undercarriage inspection. But I've looked under here, and from the initial inspection, I can see that everything is in excellent condition. The ball joints are good and intact. The tie rods, super stiff. I can actually see the cosmoline, that waxy substance they would spray under here to protect from rust, is still underneath here. Yeah, you can see it. There you go. You can see it up in here. That's from the factory, that waxy substance they would spray to prevent rust. And so that's awesome. But again, this also has new Bilstein shocks on the front. So the previous owners did that. The lower control arm bushings are just absolutely fantastic. Let's look at this one over here. Yeah, those are great. Upper control arm boots. Yeah, we can see that those are not ripped. They're in excellent condition. Again, you can see all the cosmoline. That's from the factory up here. So this only has 77,000 miles on it, guys. There's a new Bilstein over here too. Just looking back here at the engine, look how bone dry that is. There is not a drop of oil anywhere on the side of that engine. That is super clean. Let's go look at the oil. Here's the turbo oil drain back. Look at that. Look how clean and dry that is. There's not even any oil up here. Super, super clean. And we can even see up in here on the engine. You can see through there. Look how clean. There's no oil, no leaks anywhere. This engine is in fantastic condition. All the bushings are still intact here, in good condition for the engine shocks. The engine mounts, that looks like a relatively new engine mount. Let's look from the back over here. Yeah, they still have the protective covers to keep diesel from dripping on them from the filters and up there. And you can see all the cadmium plating is still intact on all the lines. Yeah, I don't need to do anything to the suspension. Look how the steering box is bone dry. The steering coupler, outstanding condition. So I'm not going to need to do anything on the front of this wagon. It would just be a waste of time. There's lots and lots of miles left on this front suspension. I was just checking this out. Look at that original cosmoline in there from the factory. How cool is that? They would spray it down in the frame of the chassis. Isn't that cool? Yeah, these brake lines are even in outstanding condition. Look at that. So, you know, I put a lot of miles on the car when I was driving it. It drives fine. So, side of the transmission, super clean up here. Let's look back here. That's a new transmission mount. Look how clean it is back in there in the transmission. Super clean. All the original paint markings, super bright on the drive shaft. Drive shaft center bearing support. Excellent condition. Just pull on that. Oh yeah. Super, super tight, good condition. Yeah, there's nothing I need to do up there, guys. Just checking the flex disc back here. Fantastic condition. The exhaust, great condition, just minor surface rust. There we go. The seal in here is solid, no leaks. Yeah, I really don't need to do anything down here. So let's just finish servicing the accumulators back here on the rear. But yeah, no rips in the boots. No rips or cracks in there. It looks great back here, you guys. I mean, this very low mileage wagon. So we'll go ahead and service the rear SLS system. actually lowered the vehicle a little bit so I could get up here and inspect the control arm bushings. Look at that. That is incredible condition. Look at the boot up here. Yeah, I don't need to do anything to that. That's awesome condition. And look at this. These plugs are still in the jack points. It still has, let's see if I can get that out of there. Still has the original plugs. You almost never see that. That is so cool. Let's see if they have them back here on the back. Yeah, it's these little things that really make a winning rare vehicle, because you don't see that. These things are always missing. Let's go look up here. Yeah, it's got them on all four corners. That's fantastic. So let's lower this thing down and let's go ahead and lower the vehicle down, check the oil in the SLS system, the hydraulic fluid, and get that topped off and see what changing the accumulators did to our SLS system. Okay, right here it says check the oil level at the supply tank. In the manual it has the metal and the plastic. And it says to fill the system with spring struts empty, oil level should be approximately at max mark. Interesting. So I don't think our spring struts are empty. So let's just see what it says. Okay, it says you can run the engine for a minute at medium speed while putting a load in the rear. Open the rear hatch, put 150 kilograms. Or you can detach the lever and put it in the fill position and run it for about 30 seconds. Check the oil level in the supply tank with engine stopped and correct if required. In operational system and ready for driving condition, the oil should be between the max and the min mark. On fully loaded vehicle, the oil level is at the min mark. So, all right. So we're going to remove our arm. There we go. We're going to put that in the fill position. And then I want to lower the car back down. I'm actually going to put it onto some small ramps. See, here's my front ramps and rear ramps. That way I can climb underneath there with that lever all the way up and see if it's actually filling the system. All right, you guys can see I have the car on these race ramps. We used to use them for the race cars. They work well for doing suspension work when you don't have a lift. But anyway, the lift is actually not touching the car, so the car is under its own suspension. See? So before I crank the car and push the lever to the fill position, I want to go take a measurement. 25, now we're at like 25 and a quarter. I'm going to measure it from here. 25 and a quarter. Let's see. Yeah, maybe 7/8. 25 and 7/8. So I want to crank this up and we're going to put it in the fill position. Oh, it's definitely filling up. Yeah, I can see it moving. So it says to let it run for about 30 seconds like that under a moderate engine load. You guys couldn't see that, but I could definitely see it filling up. Oh, you can actually see it's 100% raising. Yeah. Let me just show you guys where we're at. I mean, that SLS really kicked on. I just watched it. Let's see what our measurement is here. And a quarter. Look at that. We're at 28 and a half now. So it just definitely went all the way up. So I'm going to go ahead and put that lever. Oh yeah, we have full extension on that SLS. That's awesome. So it just rose like 3 inches. So I'm going to go under here and move the lever. to the lower position, if I can. Okay, that's not easy to move. There we go. There you go, it's lowering. You see that? See the muffler getting closer to me? All right, we put it in normal position. All right, watch the muffler in relation to that caliper there. I'm going to raise it. Okay, see? You see it raising? See, it's now exposing the axle back there. See how high it's getting? Wow, that's awesome. This is working great. All right. Now, I'm going to go to lower it. You see that? See how it lowered? All right, I'm going to put our, there we go. That would be normal position right there. Let me go ahead and raise it up. And then we're going to go check our level in the reservoir. Okay, good. Okay. That's normal ride height right there. Let's go take a measurement. Okay, we started all the way down at like 25, and then we went up to like 28, almost 29. And there we go, guys. Normal ride height right to the center is like, I don't know, 26 and a quarter. So we went all the way up to like a little over 28. We were all the way down at 25, 24, and normal ride high is at 26 and a quarter. And I'm going to see what the front ride height is at, just to see if that's roughly the same. Oh, I'm sorry. The fenders are a different shape up here. See, the fenders go up further here, and they go down further in the back, so that's not an accurate measurement. Anyway, that's good. SLS is working fantastic. So what we want to do is shut off the engine now, and we want to see what the level is. We want to see what the level is in the reservoir. Factory service manual says it should be between the minimum and maximum, except under full load, it should be at the minimum. Now, when I took a measurement before, we were all the way collapsed. We were sitting down on the bottom, on the bump stops, and it was at the maximum level, so that makes perfect sense. We should be right between min and max now because our ride height is back to normal. All right, let's wipe this guy off. Got one hand here. I got too excited to set up my tripod. Okay. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. There's the minimum. There's the maximum line. We are dead in the center. So we just did the test by the book, literally by the service manual. And all of our levels checked exactly as the service manual said. So now what we want to do, I want to take that measurement again. I think it was 26 and a quarter. And I'm going to leave the car sitting here overnight. And I want to see if it stays at 26 and a quarter. If it does, good. We have no leaks. Then I'm going to go ahead and just let it sit for a few more days. And we want to see if it holds that pressure. So let's just go take our measurement again. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow, which for you guys will be 5 seconds. And we'll see if the measurement is the same. Okay, we are at normal. They call it operating, ready to drive condition is what they call it in the service manual. So, there we go. Right from the bottom here, up to the center of our lip. it is basically 20, what is that? 26 and an eighth, 26 and a quarter, something like that. Just remember that. Basically on the lower edge of that lip right there, it was like 26. So we're going to remember that. We'll look back at this video and compare it. Yeah, that's a good measurement. Right there on the lip is like 26. So we're going to come back tomorrow, and that needs to still be at 26. And that's good. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go back under here. It appears the accumulators have resolved the SLS issue, which is good because we had a busted accumulator. I'm going to go ahead and put this nut back on the SLS lever, and we're just going to let this car sit for 24, 72 hours. Check back in a second. Okay, it's still the same day, but I want to take a sample of this hydraulic fluid in the SLS system to make sure that it's clean, because from what I could see, someone has already changed it, but I want to take a sample just to make sure. So if any of you guys have seen Kent's videos, he actually does it the same way that I'm doing it. And Kent, I swear to God, I'm not trying to copy you. This is just a good way to do it. And I also have one of these little handheld vacuum pumps. So there we go. I captured some fluid there. And we want to dump this out and take a look at it. I can already tell you that is very clean. That's golden brown. So someone has already... Oh yeah, I don't even need to dump that out, guys. Look how clean that is. That is super clean. So someone's already changed this. That is excellent condition fluid. We do not need to flush out that system. That's clearly already been done. Okay, here we are a couple of days later, and let's check to see if our ride height has changed. There we go. We're exactly at the same spot. 26 inches. So there is no leaks in the SLS system. So that's fantastic. That busted accumulator is what was causing the issue. So there we go. Mission accomplished. All right, that is all for this video for the 83-300 TD. The next thing I'm going to do is actually remove the dash. And we're also going to remove the gauge cluster and replace the rheostat. And that's kind of part of the dash removal process. But let me show you why. So just at first glance, the dash appears incredible, but when you get up here closer, we have one clean crack right through the center. Now, the good news is I have original OEM Mercedes dashes. This is not a recovered dash or some aftermarket crap. This is the real deal. There's two right there. The one I want to use is actually over, I keep it in my living room because it's literally mint condition. But I have two there. I think there's one in the trunk of the SD out there. And but this car is getting the one out of my living room because it's perfect condition. So I think you guys will really enjoy that next video. I'll show how to pull out the dash. It's not very difficult. And then we'll put that new dash in here. So anyway, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you know, leave comments. I love chatting with everybody on YouTube. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next one. Take care.